Hello and welcome, astrology explorers, and welcome to this wonderful horoscope all about the energy of the solar eclipse in Sagittarius happening December 4th, 2021. Now, this is a doozy. It is the end of the cycle of eclipses between Gemini and Sagittarius. It's ending that higher thinking, lower thinking energy war that we were having between our insides and our outside experience, between the energy of the collective and the energy of the individual, between the future and the past, and most importantly, between the energy of Gemini and Sagittarius. One is the explorer of the infinite, and one is the explorer of the inside energy of our minds, our greater mind versus our personal minds. And this is such a wonderful energy to be in and to be a part of over the last year and a half. How have you changed? How have you grown? What have you learned? What have you had to let go of? What belief systems have you had to leave behind? And what individual beliefs have you had to adopt in order to assimilate into this new reality that we are in, thanks to the panorama that has affected all of our lives? Most importantly, how's that South Node of Sagittarius been treating you? As a Virgo rising, I have seen a transformation in my family life and in my approach to family. And in each individual sign, there have probably been so many transformations. But before we begin, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Stella. I'm your host here at Bella Star Astrology, as well as an astrologer for a very long time. And most importantly, the co-host and partner in the Astro Read. I also give personal readings. So if you are interested in a personal reading, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram and send a personal message, where we can give you a little bit more depth into the astrological reading that I'm doing today, maybe on a personal level, how this eclipse will affect you. Most importantly, the astrological events that are happening in 2022 are coming up. So it's a great time to find out on a personal level how it will affect you. So feel free to go out into Instagram and not only follow me, but send me a personal message asking about pricing as well as offerings that I have available through the month of December. Now, and most importantly, let's get into this oh so amazing Sagittarius, a new moon solar eclipse, and the separation that's happening between who we are and who we are becoming. The separation of leaving our old values and stepping into the new values that we have developed over the last year and a half. Leaving all of this departed, old, cranky energy of fighting over what is freedom, who should be free, who should not be free, and embracing the individual needs, the individual mind, going into ourselves to support the collective, going into ourselves to separate ourselves from the toxicity, from the tumultuousness of the times, and to really look deeper. Why are we reacting? What is causing our lives to have this disruption? How have I been unhealthy? How have I been supportive or unsupportive of the collective energy that's happening all around the world? And most importantly, how can I look into myself and create less disharmony and create more positive energy around me, and maybe even create the freedom that I need in my individual life versus the collective energy that I'm feeling around me? So, all of this to say that we're going to go through a big separation between, our belief systems in every part of our lives, depending on what sign you're in. And most importantly, a separation from what we thought was right or wrong, what we thought we could handle and what we couldn't handle, what we were feeling and what was being pushed onto us. And this solar eclipse is so important for us to be able to evolve as a collective, but as an individual, you have been challenged all throughout this year to face yourself. Truly, with Gemini North Node, face the ideas that you've had, that you've gathered throughout your life, and are they truly that important? Is it really so necessary? Who and what can you become to be a better person in this lifetime? And what ideas can you adapt in order to support the collective need? Right? Or better yet, to support your own mental health, right? Many people have embraced mental health. In fact, there's been a huge surge of so many apps, so many people, so many experts that have just come out in support of mental health in general. And I think on a positive note, although there has been much heartache, although there has been many things that have held us back, many things that have pushed us forward, the fact that we're taking mental health more seriously, especially within the United States, is such a big relief. And really embracing the idea that it's not just about the physical, but the mental is so, so important. Developing a strong mind, developing a strong will is so important, and the resilience that you need. You know, we had a resistance to resilience before. Now we have a strength beyond measure. And that is what this North Node in Gemini has really represented: the mental strength and stretch that you can obtain when you push yourself beyond what you thought was your limit. But for each sign and individually for each person, it may have come in different ways. So if you aren't already aware of what your sign is, please remember to go to astro.com and look up your individual chart. You need your birth date as well as the place of birth and your birth time to get the most accurate reading. But if you do not know what it is, please follow your sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign if you do know your time in this reading. And we start with Aries. This is going to be affecting your ninth house, which is all about the changes in your perception, the changes in your belief system, the changes in your religion, even in the beliefs that you've had and the things that you've been taught and the things that you teach others. So there's going to be a big transformation thanks to the eclipse coming through in your ninth house on the ideas and what steps you need to take in order to embrace something new, do something different, create something completely different than what was in your belief system. You know, and a lot of this has to do with all of the ideas you thought you were right, or all of the ideas that you had in mind before, and transforming them into something even greater than you could even imagine. Maybe you attract a new teacher. Maybe you become a teacher. Maybe you attract some new support around you, or even leave the support that system that you had of the ideologies that you had before. There could be people around you who may not be supportive of the ideas that you have and the changes that you're making. And it might be time to step away from anyone or anything that is not supportive of the new you that you're trying to embrace, the new mentality and the new learning you're trying to push forward. And of course, taking those next steps might be challenging, but by the time the full moon in Gemini comes around, you're going to be totally transformed. So, however long it's going to take, although this is probably, not a very long eclipse as the Taurus eclipse was, this is going to be something that will really help you to understand yourself on a deeper level and to embrace the new learning that you've been adapting all throughout the last year and a half. And we move on to Taurus, and this is affecting your eighth house. And this is all about the occult, the trauma, the inner world, the legal battles you might have had, or even the debts that you might have embraced. And you sort of have a change of heart. A transformation when it comes to your finances, when it comes to maybe the traumatic experiences around your finances that you've had. What has happened over the last year and a half that has opened you up to maybe more risk? And you might be trying to maybe end your cycle of a bad business so that you can embrace a brand new you that is way more responsible, that is way more ethical, and maybe even more apt at the ability of looking at your finances from a much more cold standpoint as opposed to emotional. Taurus, it's time to be responsible for yourself. It's time to look at the past trauma from a more cold, less emotional perspective, and maybe even embrace the bad debt and all of the bad actions that you've taken and learn from them, evolve from them, solve them, resolve them. Maybe you'll get into a new debt that will help, enhance your credit score or support your future financially, as well as looking at how you yourself have not been, so great at handling your finances and your trauma all around finances as well, making you a lot more responsible for yourself, solving your own problems, giving you more freedom. Because ultimately, all of the things that are happening around us with this Sagittarius solar eclipse are about embracing the freedom we need to have in the future incarnation that we're building, in the self that we are trying to build up. And each sign has a new freedom they're trying to build. Maybe yours is financial freedom, Taurus. So you need to embrace how to manage your own money, how to manage others' money in a much more clear, concise way. Now we move on to Gemini. And this is all about the issues of love, of your one on one relationships, of your partnerships, and how you either haven't gotten over an old partner or maybe how you haven't truly liberated yourself from the old ways and actions that you've demonstrated towards your lovers in the past. Maybe you're realizing that the person in front of you isn't your ex boyfriend that broke your heart, and you need to give space for being healed with your new partners. Maybe it's time for you to look for a new partner, that this person is not right for you, that this relationship is toxic, and you might actually end what is happening within your relationship, or even end the actions that the partner is demonstrating to you and have a real conversation about how you want to be treated, what you would like to do, how much more freedom you need within the relationship, how you'd like to embrace your friendships, maybe outside of the relationship. And most importantly, how you have not faced your fears around the things that you may be trying to accomplish within your relationship. Why haven't you told your partner about the house you want to buy? Why haven't you talked about the fears that you had and the traumas that you've had in your past in your relationships? What are you afraid of in becoming vulnerable with this person? As much as we are not embracing who we could be, we may be too tightly holding on who we were. So, my Geminis, please be aware of who you really are and how you've changed in the last year and a half. Maybe you finally embraced love and you're still leaning on the old ways that you used to express it. Maybe it's time to adopt new, more constructive ways of speaking to your lovers, of enjoying your lovers around and the love around you. And maybe it's time to leave behind the you that was broken and the you that is built up to be able to be resilient within relationship. Now, my little cancers, my fellow cancers, you're not little at all because, we're always here, big personality and full of love. This is going to affect your sixth house. And this is all about your health and your daily work life balance. Have you truly been working enough? Or have you been less responsible than you could be? Or on the other side, have you been too much working? Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need some time for yourself. Maybe you need a vacation. Watch out for overworking or not embracing what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime, and maybe taking on something that you thought was so hard and that you can finally balance out with your daily life. Maybe you'll figure out how to balance your business with your current job, or how to balance the lifestyle that you'd like with the earnings that you have. Whatever floats your boat, Cancer, but I want to make sure that you're watching your health. that you're taking it seriously. This is a great time if you have a sugar addiction to cut it out. If you have an addiction to food, as we all know, cancers may well have, to cut it out, to get more healthy, to embrace a more healthy lifestyle. Maybe there's a new exercise routine that you can take up. Maybe there's something that you are doing that reflects something in your past that you are not fully embracing, so that you can enjoy your health much longer, so that you can enjoy a healthier experience on this planet. Just because you're a Cancer doesn't mean you can't go on long hikes and get healthy. Doesn't mean that you can't make the best out of the healthiest food, not just the least healthy food. Take advantage that you love food and truly love all food. Love the way that you look when you eat healthy. Love the way that you feel when you balance out your stress and you look for ways to embrace a more slow-paced lifestyle. Especially being a Cancer, you know those little crabs are not speed racing anywhere. They sort of slide to their or glide from left to right to their destination. So maybe it's time to learn how to dance and to embrace the dance that it is a healthier you. Cancer, especially with this eclipse being in your sixth house, you get the opportunity that many don't of truly severing ties with maybe some of the bad habits that you've been demonstrating that have not led to a positive result for you. Then we move on to my Leos. And Leos, this is such a fun placement for this solar eclipse. I mean, not perfect, but definitely fun because it's affecting your fifth house and affecting your fifth house of play, of children, of all of the fun things that you do, the hobbies that you have. And maybe you used to like something and you no longer do it. Like baseball, for example, you used to love playing baseball, but there's no time anymore because you're so busy with all the other hobbies you have. Maybe it's time to take back, the hobbies that you used to do. Maybe it's time to stop doing all of the hobbies at once. As Leos love to shine in everything that they do, maybe pick one thing that you're going to shine in for, the next year or lifetime. As well as your children, this might be a new way for you to talk to your children, for you to embrace your children, to have connections with them, and to really enjoy their presence. You might have been maybe a person who was too strict, or a person who was not fun, person who was not connected with fun, which is very hard to believe for Leos, but it can happen. And now you're realizing that you have space within your relationship with your children to truly enjoy them, to have fun with them, to do something exciting. Go out and explore, go out and enjoy them. It's time to embrace your inner child and let it out. And when it comes to your lovers, maybe you've been dating in a way that is not positive for you. Maybe you don't enjoy being online all the time and swiping left and swiping right, and you need to see and embrace and enjoy someone personally and connect with them on a personal level. Maybe it's all about getting your friends, and this is opposite your 11th house, to give some suggestions about who they think you should date, right? Who they think you would be a good match with. And maybe your perfect lover is right under your nose and you haven't been paying attention to them and you are just afraid or insecure about who you are. And it's time to leave those insecurities behind and embrace that true love that you've been trying to find. So don't forget that this eclipse means that you'll be leaving behind a part of yourself that no longer serves you. So maybe you are not being the perfect lover that you could be, and the actions that you've taken and the patterns you've followed are no longer serving you. So embrace the new you, my Leo, and please, please, please go and play, go and enjoy this time with your children, with your lovers, with yourself, and have, some faith that the things that you're doing are in alignment with who you are. Well, hello, Virgo, and welcome back. This has been a year and a half of a lot of ups and downs in your family, in your home life, in the stability that you've created. And you love to be stable as an earth sign. This is the time for you to build that stability, to build that family, to build that deep connection. And now that you've seen what your true potential is within the home, within your family, within the familial relationships that you have, and even with your connection with your mother, it's time for you to let go of the archetype that you were before, of the fears you had around building home and family, of the freedoms you may have needed before, but now are embracing what it means to explore your life with the ones you care about. Or it could mean that you are now finally understanding that the toxic relationships or the toxic environment that you were living in is no longer serving you. You know, a lot of this time has probably been spent thinking about how you can build a better environment, how you can be better within your environment as yourself, as the person you truly could be. You know, there are so many opportunities for you to make home the best place in the world, especially since you have Sagittarius there. And really, depending on where your personal Jupiter is placed, it could be a sign of great luck when it comes to your home, of a lot of exploration, of a lot of freedom, of a lot of fun technology that you embrace within your home. And so now, as the solar eclipse is riding over your fourth house, and it's time for you to let go of the things that no longer serve you, maybe it's time to declutter. Maybe it's time to reorganize your house. Maybe it's time to do a deep clean or a deep dive into your heart about which family members you're truly feeling connected to and which ones don't really need to be the center and focus of your life. Maybe it's time to put your family first and to embrace the opportunities that it has been to be able to connect with them throughout this time that you may have had to stay at home with them all this time, or maybe you've had to be apart from them all this time. And you're finally seeing the importance of what family truly means and what it can provide and what type of stability it can provide. It's always been a mystery for me to really see how Virgos explore their family, especially with such a sign of freedom in the fourth house, and how they can become more embracing of how family can be a part of their lives as opposed to apart from their lives. So maybe this time, although you will sever ties with some, you might embrace a new idea about what family really means. So good luck to you, Virgos, as you explore this fun energy of this eclipse over your fourth house. And then we have the Libras that are going to be affected in their third house. This is all about your communication style, and your community, as well as some information, or rather, it's instances with your extended family and how you're really embracing them, how you're really assimilating them into your life. It could be all about the transportation and the lack thereof that you have had throughout this time. Maybe it's been hard for you to get out because you've been in lockdown, or maybe it's been hard for you because you don't have a car or the vehicle that you need. Maybe it's time to let go of a vehicle that you've been driving that no longer serves you. But as you transfer yourself through this, or rather live through this time of the eclipse, it's time for you to really understand what is important in terms of the ideas, the ideologies, and the learnings that you've embraced in the last year and a half. Are you ready to create space for a new vehicle, for a new way to transport yourself? Are you ready to transform your relationships with your extended family? And most importantly, are you ready to let go of those members or of those things within your life that no longer serve you? Libras, this time is all about how you can create new ideas around yourself and around the things that you have learned throughout your life. Embracing these new ideas and applying them into your life, which might be hard because you're all about balance. You're all about not going to any one or other extreme. And you're most interested in creating and attracting all of the things that really bring balance into your life. So this could put you off kilter, or has put you off kilter throughout this year and a half, where you haven't been able to truly embrace the freedom that you desire when you travel, the freedom that you desire when you're with your extended family, or rather the freedoms that you haven't been able to because you're stuck with them, right? Maybe it's time to look at the toxic relationships and let them go. And most importantly, maybe you are looking at the community that you're in and you want to move. You want to replace that friendship or that community connection with a new set of people. And who could really help you do that but yourself in looking and analyzing, which you are great at. You're great at seeing what the pro and the cons are because you are the pro and con list of the zodiac. And most importantly, embracing when you finally do decide not to go back. I think that is the hardest thing for a Libra, is to live without regrets, since they are always balancing it out and looking at both sides of the coin or both sides of the measuring stick, and which one is going to be the one that they embrace. The balance that they need. Is one too heavy to let go of? Is one too heavy to stay? Remember to live without regrets and to forgive yourself if you feel you've made the wrong choice. So we move on to the next sign, which is Scorpio. And Scorpio, you've gotten a transformative life energy all around what you value, all around how you make money, all around what you have been able to do with your money. Maybe you've increased your wealth in the last year and a half. Maybe you have created a whole new way of making money. Maybe you've been able to use this work from home life balance situation to create a new stream of income. Whatever it is, it's time for you to look at your finances on a deeper level. And maybe it's finally time to sever ties with the old systems that you used to work in and look at the way that you've made money in the future, how you'd like to make money in the future, as well as the things that you value. You might transform the way you really embrace what you value and what those things that you value are. Not being bothered by having to be famous and rich, but really to create the wealth that you want at the pace that you want might be for you. Or you've skyrocketed your income and you've noticed that there are things that drain you. Maybe it's time to let others take care of the little details so that you can focus on the things that make you money, as well as embracing the new beginnings that you're tying into the way that you're going to be creating wealth in the future. It's such an exciting time to be a Scorpio because you're really reevaluating everything. And the eclipse is going to really cut you off from all of the other things that are distracting you, helping you focus, helping you create a laser focused energy on the things that are going to make you money, the things that are going to make you more wealthy inside and out, and most importantly, on the things that you create value around. You might change the tastes that you have. You might change the things that you're interested in or the flavors of the palate that you're interested in. Maybe you go from salty to sweet or sweet to salty, but you would change, transform that, and embrace it. It's time to let go of the things that no longer serve you, Scorpio. And hello, Sagittarius. This is a time for a total personal transformation. This is going to be your personality, your mindset, your learning, where you live, what you do. Everything is up for grabs. Who you were on December 3rd will be totally different by the time the Gemini full moon comes around at the end of December. Be ready for that transformation. Prepare yourself mentally. Journal often. Look for ways that you have transformed already and look at how you have become a whole new you. Now, embracing that change is easy as you're the explorer of the zodiac, but who you become might be someone totally unfamiliar, someone who you didn't know was possible. So be ready to be irrecognizable, even to yourself. The big changes that happen, the big things that transform our lives happen thanks to eclipses. So all of the parts of you are up for grabs. For this could be a way for you to sever ties with your insecurities, with your fears around money, with your inability to grow as an individual, with your inability to find a guru who could really help you learn more, or a mentor who could really push your career. Or even in your career, could be a new job or a new opportunity for you to create new wealth. And then, of course, your love life as it's happening right across your seventh house. The effects of this first house activation of the solar eclipse can really affect your love life. You might maybe sever the way that you used to think about love and embrace a new mentality around it. Maybe every person who you interact with has the potential to create a new idea within you throughout this time. And that could really just be like a day to night thing where you just get an idea and it's like, whoa, like I've been doing it wrong all along, or I know how to do this better. Just that spark that you needed, this eclipse will give you to truly transform yourself in a more positive and possibly enlightening way, something that could really bring wisdom to your life. And of course, we have Capricorn, and this is happening in your 12th house. So, an eclipse, happening in the house of endings. Well, let's just say the old addictions, the old cycles, the old way is over. What you've done throughout time before is over, and it's time to embrace some new belief system around death, around the occult, around your morality, around your subconscious. Maybe you have a subconscious reboot, or you finally realize that your subconscious has been sabotaging you this whole time from being able to embrace your future self, and you have a reboot of who you are beyond the veil, behind the veil. You might have really strong, crazy dreams. I definitely recommend writing it all down, as it could be really helpful to unveil what your subconscious is really thinking about your life right now. Maybe, it's trying to tell you that you need to be healthier. Maybe it's trying to tell you that the person or people around you are not supportive of a more healthy version of you. Maybe it's trying to tell you that there's toxicity within you or around you that you need to let go of. Most importantly, it's time to cut ties with maybe the spiritual experiences that you've been having by yourself. Maybe it's time to cut ties with the brooding and the separation that you've been feeling from those that you care about. And definitely look for things that are not in your favor anymore, that are no longer serving you when it comes to how you feel about the darkness within you, or the fears that you have, or the subconscious thoughts that are happening. Maybe it's time to cut ties with a dream that you have been embracing that's no longer supportive of your future. But for you Capricorns, remember that this is really triggering a lot of that prophetic energy, a lot of that energy of the future, a lot of that energy of embracing the future, and what you have been using to hold you back from that. And then we move into Aquarius, and this is affecting your 11th house. And it's all about your friendships. It's all about your maybe long dream, the dream of all dreams, right? The highest experience of your life. And it could be that somebody who you were friends with comes back into your life, or some sort of connection that you had, that you may have let go of, is really rekindled. But either way, you may cut ties with those that you care about, with a friendship that's too toxic to be able to stay, with a friendship that's no longer growing with you. Taking action in friendship, whether it's building a new one or dissimilating or breaking apart an old one, is really in your cards for this eclipse. And it's really like you might meet someone who you felt like you're instantly connected to, like, OMG, we need to be friends right now. And, it's fast friends, fast experiences with friendship or within friendships. And really someone who, on a deep level, is embracing you and is creating a history with you and helping you with your mental and supporting you emotionally, right? And it's a really incredible relationship you might build, or in a relationship that may have been incredible but finally fizzled out. So be ready for some changes in your friendships. And finally, it's all about Pisces in the 10th house. Pisces, your 10th house will be triggered. And this is all about work and embracing who you're ultimately becoming. This is going to be like everybody's been talking about the Great Resignation. This is going to be like Pisces' Great Resignation. They're going to see you know, the wood from the trees, whatever the phrase is, and they're going to see who is really there for them and what job is really there for them. And Pisces really needs a job that's supportive of their emotional needs. So if you are an employer of a Pisces and suddenly you see them quit, this is why. They have finally seen their true value. They see that they're worth more. They see that they can give more. And if they feel that they have an opportunity to grow in a new job, they're going to take it. Now, of course, don't take that new job like right on the eclipse. Probably not a good idea. But if you get an offer, maybe do the 2-week stay starting the Monday after the eclipse. Embrace the new position, embrace the new opportunity to grow your self-worth. You are worthy of having a job that gives you vacations, Pisces. You are worthy of having a job that lets you live your life. So, whether it means that you'll become more ambitious and embrace more work, or you create, more space between you and your work, it's time for you to grow within that area of your life. Now, thank you to everyone who stuck through it. I am so grateful to all of the listeners and all of the subscribers at Bella Star Astrology. If you would like your own personal reading about this eclipse, please feel free to go to my page on Instagram at Bella Star Astrology, where you can send me a personal message and I can tell you all about how you can get your own eclipse reading or any personal reading that you would like, synastry, personal natal chart reading, etc. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all of the subscribers that are new, that have joined over the last few weeks. My goal by the end of December, by the 31st, is to have 100 subscribers. So if you know someone who's into astrology and would like to know all about the energy of the week, as well as what's going on with this eclipse, feel free to share this video with them. Let them know that this reading is profound and deep and full of information that could really help someone in their time of crisis or even in their time of light. Why is everything going so well? Why is everything going so wrong? Astrology always has the answer, and it's fun to embrace this learning because it really supports the ego's need to understand why. Why is this happening? What's going on? And, everyone thinks that astrology is like this abstract outside experience, but it's happening every single day, whether or not we're realizing it. It's always good to have a leg up on the future or the past or what's happening presently. So feel free to subscribe so you can become an astrology explorer and continue exploring the stars here at Bella Star Astrology. Thank you so much for subscribing and have a wonderful eclipse. This new moon eclipse is going to be powerful, so enjoy.